The Mavic Air is my new favorite drone. It's small enough and light enough to just fit in my backpack, and I always have a drone on me. Before, I had my Phantom 4 Pro, which I still have it, but it is a whole nother backpack and it weighs a ton and it takes up a lot of space. So, always having this drone on me really opened up a lot of doors for me. However, it doesn't have my favorite go-to recording setting, which is 4K at 60 frames per second, like my Phantom 4 Pro has. In this video, we're going to compare resolutions and frame rates and see if we can get as close to our Phantom 4 Pro slow motion video with the Mavic Air. All of the footage in this video, we'll be using the 180-degree shutter rule, which is our shutter speed will be double our frame rate. So we will be getting a little bit of that cinematic motion blur, but we won't be freezing our slow motion footage like frame by frame. For this test, we'll be shooting in the highest frame rate and resolutions that the Mavic Air offers. So for 4K, that's 30 frames per second. For 2K, that is 60 frames per second, and 1080p is 120 frames per second. We'll be using a 30 frames per second timeline for all of this, and I understand that cinematic footage is typically shot or edited in a 24 frames per second timeline, but I was editing some footage a little bit ago just straight off the cards, and it didn't look like it was really smooth. Like the 30 frames per second did the slow motion a little more justice. The 24 just looked like it skipped a little bit too much to really be able to judge these different, 4K, 2K, and 1080p side by side. So another reason that I'm doing the 30 frames per second and not 24 is that the 1080p footage at 120 is automatically converted to 30 frames per second when you look at the Mavic Air footage when you're like dragging it off the card. So I didn't want to be converting too much footage around if we're already having the 4K and 1080p footage at 30 frames per second off the card. The initial idea for this was to just go to one location, film in 4K 30 and 2K 60, and just come back, edit the footage, and put it up on YouTube. But the more I was thinking about it, it makes sense to shoot in the highest frame rate and resolutions that we can on the Mavic Air and compare them to see which resolution and frame rate is the best comparing with other footage. So my initial video was going to be just one video and I was done. But the more I thought about it, to really give these three resolutions a fair fighting chance against each other, we have to kind of make three different videos, one 4K video, and interpret all the footage and scale it to the 4K timeline, a 2K video, and a 1080p video, all interpreted and scaled to 100%. And this video takes a long time to edit is what it boils down to. Like, I filmed all this stuff and I was thinking even further, like, well, does it make more sense to overexpose all of these shots, to underexpose all of these shots, or to perfectly expose all of these shots? So I scrapped all the footage I shot first, went out to three different locations, and one location I underexposed, another location I overexposed, and then another location I properly exposed. So now we have three different locations of different exposures and frame rates and sizes. So this first video is just an introduction to kind of get everyone up to speed on all of the different things that will be going on in the next parts of this Mavic Air video. So I will leave a link to all the videos below in the description, and First off, we'll have this video, the introduction, then we'll have the 4K video, the 2K video, and the 1080p video. And when I was at the two locations, I had my my Phantom 4 Pro with me, and filmed at two of these locations. So the fourth video will be comparing the Mavic Air and the Phantom 4 Pro at the same resolutions and frame rates. And the final video will just be an outro video, kind of like this one, just me talking to the camera and seeing what the results were and how to get the best slow motion we possibly can with the right resolutions and frame rates out of the Mavic Air. So this was a lot of talking. I'm going to upload the 4K video right now along with this video, and I will be editing the 2K 1080p and Mavic Air Phantom 4 Pro video afterwards. So those might be a little lagging behind, but they are definitely coming. So thank you guys for sticking around to the end. I know it's been a lot of like really technical jargon in this video, but I'm really interested to see how the Mavic Air footage looks in the different timelines with the different frame rates. So thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the videos.